All right, I think I'm live. Press the button and go, and you're off and running. How's everybody doing today? I hope well out there in internet land on the Fiddle Jam Institute channel. Oh, wait, the new name of the Fiddle Jam Institute is not that. It is Outlaw Fiddle Jam. Let's see here. I know that somebody's going to try and call me. Okay, we should be back. So, last week I stumbled into a cool concept that I shared, the idea of modular fingerings. Anybody's welcome to send me a nasty note if they think I'm covering the wrong stuff, or you have a request for something. You trust the old late 1800s fiddle here. So, if you were with us last week on episode number 10, that we ended up doing the E flat scale at one point, which is interesting in that it has 0 open strings. This light over here is kind of blinding me, sorry. I'll put that down. And so what's the purpose of that, you say? Well, for fiddlers, that's, oh my goodness, what the heck is going on? I don't have an open string to anchor to, because fiddling, we use those open strings all the time. They're 4 unique sounding notes. In the classical world, we kind of do a lot of practicing to avoid those 4 strings. We use 4th fingers instead, or rather than the blaring E. But that aside, it's good to be able to have at least a trick up your sleeve to easily play in a key you're not familiar with a fingering trick. So, as you may know already, if we just go back to the key of D for a second, it's D, E, F sharp, G, open A, B, C sharp, and D. And the fingering is from D to E is a space, or a whole step. From E to F sharp is a whole step, half step to G. It'd be a whole step to A if it's 4th finger, with the next string is fine. Whole step to B, whole step to C sharp, and half step to D. So to review, any major scale has that spacing. Whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. So it's 2 whole steps and a half step, and then 3 whole steps. 3 whole steps and a half step. 2 whole steps and a half step, then 3 whole steps and a half step. Hard to say, but that's the formula for making a major scale from any note. If you know that, you can put your finger any old where. I don't even know where it is, it's not even in a position. Whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. I just played a major scale up 1 string with 1 finger because I knew that pattern. So again, 2 whole steps and a half, 3 whole steps and a half. Every major scale has that pattern and its spacing of the notes. That's what gives it that major do, re, mi sound. Now, that said, let's bump everything up a half step. Everything. That means we have no more D, we have low 1 E flat. We have that's the first note. We have a space, a whole step to the 2nd note, a whole step to the 3rd note, a half step to the 4th note. A cross string, a whole step away is the next low 1, B flat. That's 1 whole step, another whole step to C, another whole step to D, and a half step to E flat. Now it doesn't matter what key you're in really, I just chose E flat to work with it. I figured it wouldn't freak everybody out. I think we touched on E as the one. Let's stick with E flat. So, it's a weird key, and I want to throw you out of your comfort zone if you're not used to it. If you're a fiddler, you never will do a tune in E flat. But what if the singer says, you know, D is really not good for my voice. Can we go up a half step? The singer rules, you know. So singing and the vocal, you know, and the lyric is really what it's all about. It's the king of the tune, if there is such a thing, is that in it. So we have to support them. So again, from E flat low 1, whole step, half. Now that fingering, space, space, close, is the same on both strings. Now we can take it outside of that octave, fine, we won't work with that here today. So this is the major scale. Mess around with it with me. Call and answer. Da 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 da. Catch up, I'll do it again. U. Da da na 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 more. So the third finger. Do 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 do. 3, 2, 1, down, 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 down. That fourth finger, if you're not used to it, keep it low and close. It's the next string. The B flat. U. String changes. 1, 2, 4, 3, 4, 1. E flat. Down. That's a good place to stop for the moment. So what do you think? Are you getting familiar? Are you getting confident? If you're a fiddler, if you're a classical violinist, you're probably bored at this point. But we're going to get to some good stuff in a minute, some modal things. So, yes, this, as mentioned last week, this fingering should be able to play it anywhere. You put your finger on the first finger, E. No open strings, F. F sharp, G. G sharp. You go G sharp, I never play in G sharp. How about B flat? B. C. C sharp, D. Anywhere in the violin you can use that fingering. All right? So that's a good start. And as we've taught here and learned here before, the major scale is kind of the king of scales. It's the one that's the standard bearer for all other scales to be compared to and judged by. I do have that product coming out. I didn't expect to do a little pitch here. I will have it coming soon in the store. It'll be the Fiddle Jam Master Jammer Scale List. And you'll be able to get it for free if you take the survey I mentioned last week too. It's coming up. I'm getting around to finalizing that and releasing it, but it'll ask you 4 questions, and one of them is if I was going to do niche, mini courses for just you or your type of particular interest, what would they be? I have about 20 different things. You pick the top 3 and tell me a little about yourself, and then I'll give you that product for free. So let's give a little peek into that product. So scales, modes. It scares most people, but if you know the major scale, you're in the club at least, all right? So we know the E flat scale, we just did it. Review. And back down. No open strings. Now that you know that scale, you know all scales, including all the modes, if you know how to alter that scale. So treat any other scale as an altered major scale, and it's the easiest way to think of it. So let's try Mixolydian Mode. You go, oh my goodness, what the heck is that? Well, it's a simple scale that has the 7th note lowered. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it'll be a lowered third finger and then a space there. So the half step changes in a different spot. Low and stretch. And back down. So that is a certain feeling. Let me wake up this computer here, and I actually have the website open, Fiddle Jam Session website, to the drone track page. You can look in the search bar for it. If you're a member, you can access them all. You can also buy it as a bundle, all the drone tracks and loop tracks I have in there. It's only a few bucks, I think, in the school store. But here is, let's do, oh, that's the wrong one. I have G. Here's E flat, just a boring drone, but gives you a sense of pitch where you're at, where it's tonic. So I'm going to do some call and answers with this E flat Mixolydian mode. U. Copy me. Dun, 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 dun. U. 3, 4, 1. Dun, 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 dun. B flat. U. Now I'll try that flat side. Whoa. It's okay to slide. stop there for a second. So, feels different. If you're a fiddle person, this is like, whoa, this is strange territory for you, right? So, and you're hearing the mood of that mode. Here's major. Here's Mixolydian. As you hear with the drone, it has a real sensation of a little more sadness, a little more something, yeah. So let's try another mode, Dorian Mode. Now the Dorian Mode, I'm not taking to all the theory here. I'm just going to give you the answer just like in the master scale list that I'll release soon. I just give you the formulas. And if you're undecided, and you're one of my private students, I would train you to figure out why it's that mode and what the notes are and how we got there by comparing them relatively and all this stuff. But I'm just going to shortcut it for you and give you the answer. So Dorian Mode, which was Santana's favorite mode, Santana would not have a career without Dorian, that's for sure, is flat 3 and flat 7. So we take the E flat major scale, and we take the 3rd note and lower it a half step, and the 7th note like we just did a second ago. So it'll be... and back down. Some call this a sophisticated version of the blues. It shares a lot of note with the blues scale and the minor pentatonic. It's all in there, but it has the 2nd note and the 6th note in there. That's something we'll get to in a second. Let's put on that track again. No, matter of fact, let's put on the loop track as a drum beat. Hopefully you can hear that. Maybe I'll turn it up just a little bit. So guitar tuned to E flat and a drum. E flat, follow me. You. Oh, sorry. Scratch that. I forgot the flat. Low 3rd. Again. One more. How did that go? At the end I got a little more complicated, didn't I? Hopefully your ear is getting better and better each week as we try this stuff, and you get to jam with the tracks on the site or make up. Now you can really hear the mood change, can't you? From major, you did Mixolydian, and Dorian. Each just changed the note. Now I mentioned that this is close to the blues. It is. You just got to skip the 2 and the 6 as well as flat the 3 and the 7. What? That's right. The formula is flat the 3 and the 7 just like Dorian, but skip the 2 and the 6. So let's check that out for a second. First note, no 2, flat 3, 4, 5, no 6, flat 7, 8. If you're used to fiddling in G, D, and A, this is going to be a weird finger thing for you to go step and a half and a space with the pinky. Just kind of see that. If the 2 is in there, it'd be a whole step and then close and then stretch for the pinky. But we're not even going to do that one. So that's a kind of a weird fingering. You might want to practice it. try a little bit of that. I'll put that same track on. U. Next string. Down in D string. E. Okay, that's enough of that. So I hope this gives you an idea how, because we didn't use a single open string today, except when I started with the D major scale as an example, you could put this anywhere in the violin. E, F, F sharp blues, G, any position. So it's kind of a useful thing in a pinch. Yes, us fiddlers and rock and roll people, we love our open strings. We love the zing of the open string, these unique 4 things that we have in the violin. There's about 80 other notes on the violin at least, and maybe more. So you should be versed in at least the basics within 1 octave of being able to hold your own if you had to step into the hot seat and take a solo in a weird key. You can at least go, okay, I can put my first finger there on that note and not have to know anything else, just know the pattern. And at least I'm in the zone, and it's getting close. All right. So I hope that helps. This is a little more on modular fingerings. It's a unique trick to have. It's a little bit of a cheater's cheat sheet thing, but that's okay. As long as you get to the gig and get to the song and get to the moment for you to shine, you'll probably get called back and you'll probably make it relatively unscathed, even if it wasn't blazing across all positions and all the fingerboard. That'll come. If you're not used to that already, that'll come. All right. If you're a classical person and know the scales in 3 octaves up and down or 4, and you can alter that scale, that's fine too. I'm just teaching here the 1 octave boxed fingering set to get people started into the unthinking process. The goal, as I always state over and over and over, is to not think too much, is to have the maximum amount of joy and goosebumps in your playing without being unencumbered by thinking so hard. That's why I'm giving the answers to the formulas for the modes and the scales. Just give you the answer. Don't make you work for it. If you know that simple formula, you can grasp upon that that feeling when you need to improvise. All right? So, or even play a tune in a weird key. So I hope that helps. And if it is, let me know in the comments. And if it's not, let me know too. Then I know what not to do for you. And check out the Fiddle Jam Institute. Check out Outlaw Fiddle. If you want me to make you a fiddle, I don't have my blue one out today back here, but I have others coming, and I started 2 more in the shop just yesterday. So check it out, and I hope to see you soon.